think because I have it on low, like low power. That's what I figured out last time. So the screen's on low power, so it doesn't drain my battery all day.
So good, we got that going on again, right?
Yeah, so we're looking good. We will probably not be able to see your writing very much unless we go like this morning. Hi, Maritza. See, I can see that, but only because my face is like right in there.
Good morning, everyone.
Look at that. You can see my gray streak right now. Jesus, I gotta re-dye my hair already. Crazy.
Good Lord, everyone. We're sorry. Hope you're not watching this in HD.
Craig doesn't even know what to say with that. I love it when I stump him and he doesn't know what to say.
No. No, you look fine. It's all right. It's good. Okay. Our screen's really dark again today, so we can't see anything. I think it's Jessica.
Good morning,
Hello,
Jessica.
Good morning. So we got an awesome show. This is the first show of 2020. We're really excited to bring you the IAR 2020 forms changes.
Exciting show
I know,
today.
you guys have been waiting for all year long. Well, don't finish my sentences. You play that game Jinx? Like Jinx, you can't say that until I say it 10 times or something like that, or you have to buy me a code?
Jinx 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, I never did the 1,
That's
2,
what my
3, 4.
kids do. And then somebody has to say your name 3 times.
Good morning, good morning.
Hi,
all right.
Dale.
So we've got a lot. There's not a ton of changes this year, and I think there are some good ones, and there's actually a couple bonus new forms. So
yeah,
in case you're worried that we didn't have enough forms to fill out, there's 2 more.
And actually, I like these 2 new forms.
I do too. It's kind of cool.
So that's a good thing.
Okay, so we're not going to do a top 5 because there's a bunch of changes.
Yeah.
Some of them we're going to spare you the details because some of them are just minor things that were changed or adjusted, or maybe they made a sentence bold or something like that. You know what? Actually, we might talk about them. I don't know. We're going to go through them page by page, but we're going to go through it quickly.
We're going to try to make it as non-boring as possible.
Boring?
Just saying.
Look, the only way we do boring stuff is if our videos are just one of us.
Because raise your hand, and you guys can do this.
We can't see you raise your hand.
Yeah, but they can. They can raise their hand in the comments. Did you actually read your AIR forms changes? I could tell you by our meeting yesterday, I think half the people did and half the people didn't.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do get a lot of mail from, the board, the National Association, the State Association, and the local association. So, unfortunately, there's times in my career where a lot of that just went straight into the trash, and I would just move forward.
So I printed this, but I don't know if I've necessarily looked at it. Just saying for the record.
I've looked at it briefly a couple times. So we're gonna get right into it.
Somebody raised their hand. Who was it? Lisa. Lisa raised her hand, said she looked at it. Good job, Lisa.
Nice. Good job, Lisa. Someone's out there doing their job. I did too. Hanson apparently didn't, but we went over form changes yesterday at our office meeting.
We did.
Okay, so first thing is the purchase agreement. There's a lot of changes on the purchase agreement. If you have if you're following along with your purchase agreement in front of you right now,
print one out now.
Yeah, you'll be ready. If not, pause. Anyway, okay.
Sorry, phone call.
Yeah. So, purchase agreement, one thing they're doing, they just reformatted the choices about inspections. So right where it says they waive the right to inspection, they reserve the right for an inspection, or it's sold as is, it's all right next to each other right now.
Yeah, before it was super spread out, and I feel like that was really hard to train new agents on, especially when it was sold as is with it being down at the bottom. So that is a good thing. And it does say see attached addendum, so that's a good thing too, because I think people always forget, if you have a sold as is, you got to attach an as is addendum.
Oh, that's a good point. Thank you. I was just going to bring that up, but Nicole beat me to it. She's on fire this morning, folks.
It's form changes. I'm excited.
She loves that. She loved that nerdy stuff.
I'm telling you.
Okay, next. Let's see. Purchase, improved property. Do we need to do this one? Taxes, they consolidate taxes. Boom, moving on. So
taxes, well, let's say line 285 is moved to line 280. So they're all together instead of being spread out.
Stuff just got moved. This one's cool. The next one is line 13 from the personal property. Not personal property, that paragraph, not the personal property addendum. But anyway, they deleted the words gas grills, because it caused a little bit of confusion with the built-in gas grill that has a hard line, gas line to it versus the portable ones with a little propane tank. There were some discrepancies where people thought...
You know what? I didn't think about this. Why didn't they just say built-in gas grills? Because now we're going to have to remember to include the grill regardless.
Well, if it is...
I guess it'd be real property if it was built-in.
Well, if it is built-in, this eliminates the confusion over portable gas grills.
Oh, Maritza says she was just waiting for this show. That's funny.
Nice.
With a laughing face. Just want to say that for the record. Just remember the difference between real property and personal property. If it's built in, it's real. If it can be removed, it isn't and not attached to the house. So.
And remember, if it's not on the purchase agreement, nothing in the MLS is binding except for commissions.
Truth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Make sure it's on your purchase. When in doubt, it better be written out. Ooh, I like that. When in doubt, it better be written out.
Is that our new tagline?
On the purchase agreement. Okay. Okay, this is interesting now. We got a lot of new smart home products, Ring doorbells, all kinds of stuff. And largely this is mainly Ring doorbells and thermostats, the Nest thermostats, or it doesn't matter what brand, but any of the smart thermostats and stuff like that. A lot of sellers think they could just take their Ring doorbell and their smart thermostat when they leave.
Yep.
Technically, those become fixtures once they're installed. So they added a little bit of verbiage in here to kind of clear that up and remind buyers agents to talk to their buyers about that. So that's something good. You should know that.
Yeah, so that's on line 16, so it's at the very beginning. And I know sometimes we kind of, you kind of gloss over that part. Like you throw your appliances in, don't think about it. So make sure you're really reading the beginning of the purchase agreement here for the new stuff, okay?
That's right.
And it does say there's a video from NAR at the end of the PowerPoint presentation, which you guys all got an email. So you should have that PowerPoint presentation for further info regarding smart home devices.
Yeah,
so that might be worth a look.
And I believe the email came out in December, and it came from IAR's, their automated.
I think I just sorted by IAR to find it.
Yeah, so you can just search for IAR and you'll be fine.
Yep.
Okay. We don't really go over that
Purchase
one.
agreement, approved property. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're just highlighting words.
Remember, the buyer is supposed to order the appraisal right away. So line 84, they change it from authorizes to directs. So you're really not supposed to wait after inspection. Not that I ever do that.
Sorry, everyone. I said, let's not go over it, and then she went over it anyway.
Too bad. So sad.
I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry.
Get out of here.
I'm sorry for wasting your time this beautiful Friday morning.
Uh-huh.
I heard we're going to get snow later, too. Like, it's supposed to get cold and...
Well, I'm in this sweater. It's like 50 out, and I'm like dying because yesterday I was freezing. So now, I don't know. This weather's insane.
A philosopher once told me we're all dying.
Every day, every second. That's
Not
sad.
me. Not me.
That's like a glass half empty kind of thing, which I'm not used to from you.
Wow, way to bring the show down.
I'm
All
just
right.
saying.
That was
you.
my bad. My bad, everyone.
Uh-huh.
Okay. They just made a sentence bold on line 124 and 125 that basically says the seller shall remove all debris and personal property not included in the sale. That would just became bolder. So they're just trying to emphasize that. They can't leave tires, old paint cans, trash heaps, etc.
What? Has anybody ever had a seller leave stuff in their house before?
Everyone has.
What?
Yeah. They do
Dressers, 6 mattresses.
No.
That happened to me once.
No. All right. So next one, survey. In the survey paragraph, they just removed the language that said showed the flood zone designation of the property. Basically, just surveyors aren't doing this anymore. So
I wonder why that is.
Well, I think it's because flood maps may have changed and it was a liability issue, so they just decided, hey, we're just not even going to look at it. That would be my assumption, but I don't know that for sure. So check with your managing brokers or check with IAR.
That's line 139.
Okay. The next one is, on line 143, you just turned that page over, Hanson.
We might need it.
We don't need it.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, they added some language in the bottom of, it was like paragraph K for building use limitations.
Line 143.
Right. Calm down. The buyer shall have blank days after acceptance of this agreement to satisfy the contingency. The contingency is building use limitations. This could be very important if you have...
Yes.
It's not necessarily commercial because this is on the purchase agreement for improved property, residential. So, but let's say your person wanted to buy a house and make a daycare or something along those lines. Now, before really there was no deadline on that contingency, so you could go day of closing and then find out, the town won't allow me to have a daycare on that street or whatever, and then the deal could fall through, and it was like a clear out to the contract, I suppose. So what they did is they just added a timeline to limit that contingency.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? What do you suggest as the number of days in there? Out of curiosity.
I would say
Because that's a new one.
Ideally, we are going to say 14 days, I think, because and
That's
talk
what
to
I
your
said
managing
too.
broker, see what they decide. But I'm going to say about 14 days, and which is in line with kind of the longest we like to see an inspection window open. So it's kind of like, hey, do your due diligence, buyers and buyers agents. Make sure that the intended use of the property is fine. Sometimes also this could be if it is zoned commercial or business or something like on a main, like on 45th and Highland. There's a lot of those houses that are residential. However, they're zoned business or they're zoned commercial. Sometimes the state won't allow that, or sometimes the town won't allow residential over there.
So that is a whole new letter. Like it's line 143. That's where it starts. It's K. They've added that now. And
K's always been in there.
Have they?
Yeah, they're just adding this language.
I've never had to check may or may not terminate this for building use limitations.
Yeah, I don't remember there being a check, but the new sentence
Maybe
that
it
they're
was
talking
may.
about.
Maybe it just automatically said may terminate.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't remember there being checks. I never had to use that.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. However, I do know that was well, according to this is the only change. Is them adding the date.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. But okay.
Yeah.
Are
Are you calling me a liar?
No. I'm just telling you, after filling out, a lot of purchase agreements, that wasn't there before.
Oh, I know. You fill out so many purchase agreements. I
So
know.
do you.
Not
Get
any-
over yourself.
Not as many anymore.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All areas of the property has been put in bold in the inspection paragraph. There's basically some verbiage in there that says the seller of the property needs to make sure that the house is inspectable, all rooms, there can't be anything blocking any attic entrances, any of those things, crawl space entrances, things like that. All they
Cars
did
in
was
the garage.
cars in the garage for pull down
pull-down.
attics and stuff like that. They just made that bold because sometimes people forget.
And that's line 188 to 189. So make sure you're having those conversations with your seller too. That's an important one because I think sometimes that gets missed when you're getting an offer.
All right, I think we're more than halfway, Sue. We're making
We're
good
blowing
time
through
this
this.
morning.
We're blowing through it.
Yep. Hope you guys are enjoying this because we are loving it.
Orange changes gets me up in the morning.
I'm telling you, it's like a cup of coffee.
Ew, gross. No.
It's like, okay.
Who else doesn't drink coffee? I don't drink coffee. The smell of it, like he just drank it next to me. I'm like, oh no, a coffee breath? No.
Awesome. Now,
I'm gonna cough right on you now. Every time you
I
do
will
that, I'm
fight
gonna
it
cough
back
on
with.
you.
Hold on, let me get
No,
coffee wrapped up.
don't do it. It's so gross. No.
All right.
I cannot do it.
No one make any memes with that face I just made. All right. So anyway, next one, improved property, line 411. I know what you're thinking. You know what line 411 is, but if you didn't know, basically it just says by signing below, the parties verify and understand, and they approve the purchase agreement and acknowledge receipt of a signed copy. This is kind of a risk reduction tool for brokerages. Basically, it's saying, hey, look, you're acknowledging you got a copy of this and all this kind of good stuff.
I thought that was already in there.
Well, I don't know. It's been bolded and moved.
It just
So it
says
was saying it
it's
was
been
in there.
bolded and moved. That's
Okay.
it. So
just
that's
above the signature line.
that was one we didn't need to go over.
Okay, that's true.
I hate
Sorry, the screen is dark again.
coffee and love tiramisu. Nice.
Oh, look how close you are to the
I
camera.
know because I can't read
Stop
it.
scaring our customers away. All right. This one I don't like, but whatever. On the listing contract, they added a place where you can write in the numerical amount, just like the purchase agreement, where if you wrote an offer for $200,000, you would write it 200,000 in numbers, and then underneath it, you write it out, spell it out like you would do on a check or something like
That
that.
seems like it'll be fun since a lot of times we handwrite pricing when we're at a listing appointment. So
I can tell you, I won't be writing it out anyway. So I'll just put the numbers in there and call it a day. That's me.
right. Let's see. Listing contract exclusive right to sell, line 35. This also goes into, now it was on the purchase agreement, but they're also listing on the listing contract that the seller, he has to remove all personal property, not including the sale and debris. And then any existing improvements and fixtures permanently installed and affixed, which seller does not want included in the sale, shall be removed by seller prior to the effective date of this listing.
This is actually a pretty big change.
Uh-huh.
This one you might want to get your highlighter out and write this one down. But what they're basically saying is if you have a seller that wants to keep that Nest thermostat or wants to keep that Ring doorbell or any other fixtures, grandma's chandelier or a big mirror or whatever, this is basically saying that the seller agrees to remove that prior to listing.
You know what? This is also going to include garage shelves. That's probably going to be the most painful.
Garage shelves, any of those things.
Because I would say that's the number one thing that people want to take with them.
That's a good point,
That's
Nicole.
the most expensive.
You don't have a lot of good points, but that's a good point.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
I'm just kidding. She's
I
brilliant.
know. I know.
Okay, so that's a really big one. So make sure you're aware of that change.
Yeah. That's...
If your seller has something that they want to keep and it's not included in the sale, if at all possible, you want them to do that prior to listing.
All right.
Okay, first right contingencies. This one talks about earnest money. Basically, it's just cleaning up that earnest money is supposed to be submitted in accordance with the purchase agreement.
So basically, if you have a first right contingency on your purchase agreement, your buyer has to submit earnest money.
They are still
They don't get
supposed
to wait until the contingency is removed.
I think most agents know that, though,
Yeah,
right?
I think so, too.
I think so.
But they clarified that language. And then they have also on that same form, removal of contingency form number 25, line 10. There's 3 new choices on that they've changed. They have accepted a purchase agreement on our home and therefore are removing the first right contingency, which I like that because I always felt like I felt uncomfortable because it just said like contingency before. And so I felt like I was removing finance contingency or something else. Have not accepted a purchase agreement on our home, but are removing the first right contingency and are removing the contingency on this purchase agreement concerning. So if you had other contingencies, like building limitation use or something else that you had written into your further conditions, you can use that other form for that.
Yeah, it's basically just providing reasons so we don't have to spell them out.
Yeah, which I like that change. That was good.
Yeah.
And then it basically also says on that same form on line 21, with the exception of the earnest money, all remaining time conditions in the purchase agreement start when you remove the contingency. So that includes inspections. And
again,
everything.
this is a huge one because it says with the exception of earnest money, because earnest money still needs to be submitted just as always. But this is saying, okay, if your inspection windows, let's say you have 10 days for inspection, all that kind of stuff, this now is adding the language in there that says that 10-day timeline or whatever number you put in there doesn't start until the removal of the contingency. So that's another big one. Mm-hmm. Talk to your manager about that if you're not clear on that one.
Okay.
Next one, buyer's exclusive agency agreement. Let's see.
Line 69, FYI.
This is because there's so many security systems that automatically record video, because there are, smart home devices that are always listening, like Amazon Echoes and Google Homes and all those kinds of things. Basically, this is a warning to the buyer that protects us brokers, saying, hey, look, sellers might be recording you.
So they might be listening. Don't talk about your strategy. Don't talk about negotiations. Don't talk about personal stuff that may hinder negotiations, right?
That's another good tip, too. But, if you're representing a buyer and you're showing them property, I know a lot of times we used to talk about, the house inside the house, like, oh, I love this house, I'm going to offer them full price, and then you come back and you offer them a 97% offer, and then the seller, now if the seller's recording it, they know you're going to pay more, so they're going to...
And what was it? We heard that you could use like an Amazon Echo as a reverse speaker system or reverse, so they could literally hear what was going on with the showing.
You could listen. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
In fact, I'll tell you this trick. If you see the green, or I think it's yellow or green, but there's a light that'll...
I think you're right.
Well, one is if you have a message. The other one is if there's what's called a drop-in. Like my brother will be like, drop into Craig's house, and all of a sudden it's like he's just listening to me or whatever.
Ooh.
So yeah. Anyway, so that's something to keep in mind. Okay, backup offer. This is just another one to clarify things.
Addendum to PA.
Yeah.
Line 8.
Okay, for a backup offer, this is basically just saying if you have a listing and you are going to accept a backup offer, earnest money still needs to be delivered, even though it's just a backup offer. Yep.
You still have whatever time frame you have to deliver earnest money, and just make sure that you're explaining that form thoroughly to your buyers. Sometimes I think they don't understand that.
Talk to your managing broker on that one too, because then timelines are a little weird because the timelines, if you put 10 days for inspection and they accept that, maybe you do timelines are subject to, talk to your managing broker. I'm not going to give you legal advice. I'm not capable of giving legal advice.
To everybody.
to anyone.
Oh, yeah, that's true too. Multiple offer addendum to purchase agreement, line 21. So basically, if you're sending out a multiple offer addendum and you're on the seller side, it is also then withdrawing any counteroffers you have sent out to any buyers. So as long as you send this form, you don't have to do a separate rescission for your counteroffer.
This is good because you know what? I've sent the multiple offer notifications out before, and then I'd have a buyer's agent panic and send me an accepted counter. And I said, no, we rescinded that counter. Always put that in writing too. Always email it, always send that in writing. But now on this form, it's going to be great. That's going to clear up a couple problems.
They get the multiple offer form, it rescinds the counter. So that is
good to go.
A good thing.
Fsbo builder compensation agreement. This one just clears up who's going to hold. Basically, it authorizes authorizes the broker to be the escrow agent for Earnest Money. This is basically just legally allowing us the ability to hold on to that escrow or the Earnest Money for them.
So you don't have to write it in further conditions, which is nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, here's where you get to the best part. We saved the best for last.
We did, because I'm actually excited about these new forms. I'm not going to lie.
All right, me too.
Whatever, you are too. Don't even start.
No, I don't get excited about new forms.
No, but these are actually good new forms. I'm
just thinking of all the poor trees that had to give their lives for not only for this presentation, but for all these new forms that we're going to have.
You can send it out electronic. Well, these you'll probably take with you, but normally you'd send everything out electronic.
All right, we've kept them in suspense long enough. The first one you're waiting for is the final walkthrough form.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's to serve as a risk management, and I will tell you, I like it. Because it reminds you that you have to do a final walkthrough. Not that anybody's ever forgotten that.
You don't have to.
And
we highly recommend it.
That the buyer.
I recommend it to all buyers.
Yes, that the buyer has a right to a final walkthrough. And it also says that when they did that walkthrough, that they agree that everything's fine.
Yeah.
So if they come back 2 days later and say that something's wrong, they've signed off on the form that says it's fine.
Yeah.
So, yep.
So that is cool. That is very cool. Mm-hmm. And what's the last one, Nicole?
The sight unseen acknowledgement. So when you have those
what?
So when you have those investors that are in different states or whatnot, that they have bought the property sight unseen and that they are good with it.
Excellent.
Yep.
Excellent. And that's something that
the last one?
Realistically, we've only seen it a couple times in these really, really hot markets. Oh,
Sorry.
you just blocked and coughed right into my face.
I did not.
She did.
So there's a
She's
couple
covering her
last
mouth like
slides
this.
I'm going to hold up so that hopefully you guys can see that. That is the listing, or that's the presentation for the smart home devices.
Remember when you thought it was backwards when I wrote the number on there?
I know, it probably is. And then that's the Iar Legal Hotline, which is at the end of this presentation. If you have any questions, it says to call there.
And I will tell you, IAR is fantastic. If you need any kind of legal advice or any kind of help, they will help you. They do a great job.
Yes. So
All right.
that is our video for today.
Maritza says backwards.
Thank you, Maritza.
Well, then turn your phone upside down.
Uh-huh.
Did that work? Look at it in a mirror.
It would not. Yeah, if you looked at it in a mirror, it would probably work. But
just don't say Candyman in the mirror.
Sorry, video pause from a telephone call again.
All right, well, anyway, thank you, everyone, for watching. It's a new year. We're very excited about the show.
Yes.
A lot of new changes coming. There's no new changes coming, but we are so excited. As you can see, our technology has gotten way better,
we are
not better.
still tech as always.
Yep.
High tech we are.
We've got color ink in the printer now, so we are printing in color, so that's great. Anyway, thank you. You got anything else?
I don't think so. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Our topic next week is going to be,